इदानीम् अस्मि संवृत्तः सचेतः प्रकृतिं गतः। श्री भगवान उवाच सुदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्ट्वा नसि यन्मम देवा आप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः। नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन चेज्जया शक्य एवं विधो द्रष्टुं दृष्ट्वा नसि मां यथा भक्त्या त्वनन्या शक्य अहम् एवं विधो अर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप। मत्कर्म कृत मत परमो मद्भक्तः संगवर्जितः निर्वैरः सर्वभूतेषु यः स माम् एति पाण्डव। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्म विद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्री कृष्णार्जुन संवादे विश्वरूप दर्शन योगो नाम एकोदशोऽध्यायः। हरि ओम तत्सत् हरि ओम तत्सत् हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna Mataji, so many mistakes. Please forgive me.
Thank you, Mataji. You recited very nicely.
Thank you, Mataji. You can start.
Thank you, Mataji. Beautiful recitation.
Hare
Thank
Krishna, beta. Thank you. So,
Thank you, Yashomati
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna, Vishnu Mataji.
okay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गुरु महाराज की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Yashomati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago, welcoming all of you for the mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for attending this session and giving your valuable time and association. Please forgive me for interrupting your ecstatic chanting. Let us move to our next part of the session, which is Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. And before we start our session, may I know who all have joined this call?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. This is Balavinda.
Hare Krishna, beta Balvanda.
Hare Krishna,
Pranam. Dandvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Balvanda, for reciting very nice chanting. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji. This is Preeti Vilasini Devi Dasi from Atlanta. Thank you, Mataji, for the very, very beautiful chanting and welcoming.
Hare Krishna, Priti Vilasini Devi Dasi Mataji, Dandvat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj and all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Thank you very much, Mataji, for joining and very grateful to your services, Mataji, all the time. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, since it's 11, I will start recording, okay?
Sure. So, is there anybody else who would like to introduce themselves?
You can read the quote, Mataji.
Sure, Mataji. 1 second, please. Yeah. So today we start our session. Before our session, I would like to read the Srila Prabhupada's quote. So far as learning the film industry, that is out of the question. Krishna industry is good engagement for us. Letter to Nayan Viram, July 4, 1971. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, welcoming to Bhakti Sangha Japa Group. Today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Kirtida Sundari Dasi Mataji on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata MAdhya chapter 13, verse number 11, verse number 11 onwards. Thank you very much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening us on this topic of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. I now hand over call to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Yashomati Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. So glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for welcoming everybody and for your beautiful recitation of Bhagavad Gita chapter 11. Thank you so much. Thank you, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. Thank you so much for joining us. So we will start our Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat session with invocation prayers and then we'll go on. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchatattvatakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Guruve Gaura Chandraya Radhikaaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaaya Tadbhaktaaya Namo Namaha Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hema Devya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ जयति जयति देवा कृष्ण चैतन्य चंद्रो जयति जयति कीर्तिस्तस्य नित्या पवित्रा जयति जयति भृत्यास्तस्य विश्वेश्वमूर्तेर् जयति जयति नृत्यां तस्य सर्वप्रियाणाम् मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातं हं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम् Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, once again, really grateful for all of your kind association. So, before I start, just want to say that today is a very special day. Today is the Tirobhav day of my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. As per English calendar day, he left for his Nitya Leela on July 4th. But definitely as per the lunar calendar, as per Tithwise, it is on 21st of July, which is the disappearance day of Srila Sanatana Goswami. But because today's day is as per English calendar day, we want to acknowledge this day also when Maharaj left to serve Srila Prabhupada eternally. And I would like to dedicate this entire class to Srila Guru Maharaj. Whatever I speak, whatever I have learned, whatever I have little bit realized is all because of his mercy. If he would have not been there, I would have not been sitting here. So definitely it's all because of him. So I bow down to his lotus feet and ask for his blessings so that I can progress more in my spiritual life and be an instrument in whatever way he wants me to use. So he can use me anytime, anywhere, as per his sweet will. So on that note, my humble obeisances to him. My humble obeisances to all of you for kindly joining us. So we are in the section of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata where Mahaprabhu is officially starting the preaching movement. Up till now, we have seen that how Mahaprabhu was a very mischievous child in his childhood. But then as he went to Gaya, he got initiated by Shaleshwara Puripad. He got initiated. Then he started reciting this Mahamantra. With that, he started the nocturnal kirtans at the house of Srivas Thakur, sometimes at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, but mostly at the house of Srivas Thakur. And he's totally immersed in those kirtans. And those nocturnal kirtans, the night kirtans that he performed, were with his close associates. So it was only the closed group that were allowed. And then we saw that how Vrindavan Das Thakur describes that one day in Srivasangan, Mahaprabhu showed his Sat Prahar Leela that went for 21 hours. That was the Mahaprakash Leela, in which Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Bhagavan form. He came as Bhakta to teach all of us the process of surrenderance to the Supreme Lord. But not only to teach the process, but he walked us through that process by himself following on the path of that process. So he came as Bhakta, but then one day he showed his Bhagavan to show everybody that he is not different from Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahi Anya. So after that Leela ended, then Vrindavan Das Thakur says that now officially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started his preaching. that this Krishna Prem should not be confined to a closed group of devotees, but this Krishna Prem through Harinam Sankirtan, through chanting and glorifying Krishna's name, form, qualities and pastimes, should be spread far and wide, should be spread to everyone. And for this, he ordered Shri Nityananda Ram and he ordered Haridas Thakur. So Srila Haridas Thakur and Srila Nityananda Ram were the first distributors of this Krishna Prem to everyone. And what he ordered? He ordered Nityananda Ram and Haridas Thakur. Suno, suno, Nityananda, suno Haridas, Amar ahakya karo, karo hi prakash. That it's my order you go and illuminate this entire world with Krishna Prem. Prati ghare ghare giya, karo ei bhiksha, bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna shiksha. So this is the order that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. That prati ghare ghare giya, that you go to each and every home, karo ei bhiksha, and beg for that alms. So you have to beg alms. But in alms, you don't have to beg some grains, some rice, some dals and all, nothing. But what you have to ask? Bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna shiksha. That you have to request whomsoever door you knock. You have to ask them that please chant, call out the name of Krishna, worship Krishna. And not only that, then those people should become instrument in spreading Krishna's name far and wide. So it's a kind of a chain reaction. One person goes to a door and makes him Krishna conscious. Goes to another door, but by the time that person should also be an instrument in spreading Krishna conscious to 10 more people. Then those 10 more people should approach to 10 more, will become 1,000. And this is how the Krishna conscious movement should spread. So he says, Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. You have to give Shiksha also, that Krishna is the Samam Bonam. Krishna is the supreme and one should worship Krishna. So this was the instruction given to Sri Nityananda Ram and to Srila Haridas Thakur. But this instruction is not confined only to Srila Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu. We being an instrument, we being accepting as Mahaprabhu's mission as our life and soul, this also comes on us, that we should also give this Krishna Shiksha to everybody. We know that in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakratma. What he means is that that person becomes very dear to Krishna, one who distributes this knowledge. There is no servant in this world dear to me, nor there will be anyone dear to me. Which person? That person, Krishna says, Ya idam paramam guyam mat bhakteshu abhidhasyati. That person who distribute this supreme secret, paramam guyam, this supreme secret of Krishna consciousness, this supreme secret of pure devotional service, one who explains this, that person is guaranteed to come back to Krishna. That devotee is guaranteed to be benedicted by the pure devotional service. So what we have to do, and what Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur were doing, we have to follow into their footsteps. So what we have to do, we have to sincerely try our best to spread this Krishna consciousness by preaching. Preaching what? Preaching the glories of the Supreme Lord. Preaching the glories of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. even if we have not understood 100% properly. But whatever we have heard from our acharyas, whatever we have heard from our Guru Vargas, we have to impart that knowledge to everybody. That is what is bhakti. That is what is devotional service. We have to impart this without considering any discrimination, whether that person is my friend or my enemy. We have to see everybody as in part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and should impart this knowledge of Krishna consciousness. This knowledge of Krishna consciousness is nothing sectarian. It doesn't confine to a particular group of people, but it is for everybody. Everybody means for every caste, creed, religion. It is so therefore we should not make any discrimination on that part. And therefore, our Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has also advised what he has said, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Updesh. Whosoever you meet, whomsoever you see, just give them Krishna Prem, just give them Krishna Prem. Because that's the easiest way through which we can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because he claims that one who preaches this knowledge of mine actually becomes very dear to me. And this is what Srila Prabhupada time and again in his purport has mentioned is the highest welfare activity. The highest welfare activity is not to feed anyone, is not to quench somebody's hunger and thirst, to satisfy somebody's hunger. No. That comes under the category of pious activity. Because one time you can give food, next time again that person will become hungry. Building hospitals, building all those places where people can take shelter, the shelter homes, they all come under the category of philanthropic work or pious activities. But what Prabhupada is expecting, what Mahaprabhu is expecting, what Krishna is expecting is to do the highest welfare activity. And the highest welfare activity is to preach Krishna consciousness. Because while preaching Krishna consciousness, the person's hearts become pure. And when person hearts become pure, naturally they lead a very pure life, very religious life. So therefore, work on the roots. That's what Prabhupada says. Work on the roots, water the roots. And the roots of today's society is that today's society, why it is so disturbed? Because today's society's education is not proper. And to educate the society properly is to give them Krishna consciousness, to make them Krishna consciousness. And that is the highest welfare activity. Srila Prabhupada has established the 4 pillars of ISKCON. Anybody would like to say what are the 4 pillars of ISKCON? Can any one of you raise your hand and say? What are the 4?
Can I do? Can I
Yes,
say that,
Prabhu,
Mataji?
please go ahead. Go ahead, Prabhu.
No meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling.
No intoxication. Yes, these are the 4 regulative principles, Prabhu. These are the 4 regulative principles that you have mentioned. Thank you so much. But what are the pillars of ISKCON?
Dharma, Artha,
Chanting.
Kama.
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is not the pillars of ISKCON. Rather, ISKCON philosophy rejects these 4 principles of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. They says that we are not bothered for Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha because we are bothered of the Pancham Purushartha, that is love of Godhead. Yes, Parima Mataji?
I don't know if I'm correct. Chanting, book distribution.
That's all the
And
process. Yes, Param Bhavani Shama Devi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I wanted to mention chanting, distribution, and all these things, deity worship.
Yeah,
And
these are all the process to perform devotional service. The 4 pillars of ISKCON that Srila Prabhupada established is books are the basis, purity is force, and preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle. So this is the 4 pillars of ISKCON. What Prabhupada says, that books are the basis. Why books are the basis? Because so that we don't speak anything out of our own mental speculation. The basis of our spiritual life is that we should speak everything that has an evidence in the Shastras. Shastrically, everything has to be correct, not through our whimsical thoughts, not through our mental speculation. Therefore, Prabhupada says, whatever you speak through my books. So books are the basis. But then what you do after reading those books or after studying those books scrutinizingly, don't keep it to yourself. If you keep that knowledge to our own self, then again we are failing in the next principle. The next pillar of ISKCON is that preaching is essence. Then we have to preach. We have to give this knowledge to others. Don't be miser. Don't confine it to your own self. Just preach it to others. Just give this knowledge to others. And that's how we perform devotional service. But then Prabhupada says that, okay, so you are preaching. You are taking the knowledge from the books. Then you are imparting that knowledge. But is your knowledge that you are imparting it to others is bringing any transformation into their heart or no? Or they are just listening from one ear and letting go from the another ear? So you have to make, we all rather, not you, we all have to make sure that whatever we speak actually goes into the heart of the listener, or at least should bring some transformation in the heart of that listener. But how's that possible? Then Prabhupada says purity. Purity is the force. When we ourselves follow the 4 regulative principles, when we ourselves follow the footsteps of the acharyas, and we go on the path that they have laid for us, then that purity is going to act as the force for our spiritual life. And then when we speak, then that is going to impact the heart of others. So purity is the force. It doesn't mean that we just keep on speaking and we don't follow our own selves. So that is very important. Apne acharya Prabhu jiva rasikhai. Even Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he first walked his talk. Only then he started this preaching movement. So yes, books are the basis, preaching is the essence, but purity is the force. And that purity comes when we are not duplicit, when we are not hypocrite. When we tell others, wake up 5 o'clock in the morning and chant your rounds, and we ourselves are lazy in waking up and chanting. When we tell others, please read Srila Prabhupada's books daily, but we ourselves don't follow it. That is the hypocrisy. That is the duplicit nature. So Prabhupada says purity is the force. First, we have to become pure. Only then we will be able to impact others people's life. So we have to show by our very example that I am following the instructions of my spiritual master, the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. And so Srila Prabhupada, through the medium of these things, I am imparting this knowledge because I know Srila Prabhupada is there. Because whatever I'm speaking is just like a parrot. But at the same time, not the parrot who doesn't realize what that he's speaking. There are parrots. If you say Radhe Radhe, he'll speak Radhe Radhe. But the parrot knows what is the importance of saying Radhe Radhe? No. So we have to be a parrot in the sense that, yes, we don't speculate ourselves. We speak whatever our Mahajans, our Acharyas have said. But at the same time, to some extent, at least realize it, what we are speaking. That is important. And then finally, Prabhupada says that utility is the principle. Don't reject anything. We don't have to be fanatic. Devotees are not fanatic. If they have any material things, they use it either directly or indirectly in the service of Lord Shri Krishna. We don't have to be fanatic. We have to utilize this, everything that we have, whether it's a phone, whether it's a laptop, or whether it is anything. We can use it in Krishna's service. Don't reject like jnanis. who reject and says, no, this is going to bind me and entangle me in this world. Rather, we use them in Krishna's service. So these are the 4 pillars of ISKCON, which we have to follow and which we have to give it to others so that others may also follow. See, it's very important for preaching. Without preaching, the hearts doesn't get transformed. There are many organizations who can give you many yogic postures, teach you a lot of pranayams and methods of dhyana and pratyahar. But there are many other organizations who can teach you only the bhajans, can teach you the singing. But the point is that we should know about the preaching also. We should preach. We should get preached also. Because without preaching, it's very difficult for the hearts to get transformed. The right evidence for all this is our Srimad Bhagavatam. We know from Srimad Bhagavatam time and again, when the devotee feels despondent, when the devotee feels distressed, the spiritual master comes in some form and preach. And then the devotee comes out. So entire Srimad Bhagavatam is of preaching and prayers. That is what is there. So again, I would like everybody, I know I have not even started Caitanya Bhagavat, but how important it is, I want all of you also can participate. Can you cite some examples from Srimad Bhagavatam where the devotee feels so depressed and then the spiritual master comes and preach that devotee and uplifts that devotee? Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Dhruva Maharaj.
Dhruva Maharaj. Yes, Dhruva Maharaj was feeling so despondent. And then finally he met Srila Narad Muni and Narad Muni preached him. First of all, Narad Muni tested him and said, hey, you are just a small boy, go back. But then he said, okay, when he saw the determination in Dhruva Maharaj, then Narad Muni preached him. Yes, Bhakti Sangha, I don't know whether it's Vinita Gandharvi. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Mataji Vyasadev, he was also really
very good. Vyasadev, very nice example. Vyasadev was feeling so despondent, so depressed in his heart. But then what happened? How he came out? Was he able to came out on his own? No. Sorry, Srila Narad Muni came and preached him, and therefore he came out. Yes. Again, Bhakti Sangha, I don't know who it is. Yeah, Vinita or Preeti?
Mataji, no, I thought Parambhavani Mataji.
Oh, I saw your hands raised. Yes, Parambhavani Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna Mataji. I wanted to say about Vyasadev that Mataji already mentioned.
Yeah. So Narad Muni and Vyasadev. Who else? Come on. Fast. There are so many.
Maharaj was very upset about
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. Cannot, because he was not actually preached. He himself, in the womb of his mother, Kayadu, he learned this devotional science. So we cannot bring him into the point of being preached by Narad Muni.
Mataji, Vritrasura's previous life.
Vritrasura to Indra. Indra was not ready to throw that thunderbolt, which was destined to kill Vritrasura. And Vritrasura preached to Indra that how you have to have faith in the Supreme Lord on the battlefield itself. Vritrasura preached Indra. Yes, who else?
Narad Muni.
To
when
whom?
he was a little boy. Maitreya Muni and Vidura.
Maitreya Muni and Vidura. Okay, yes. Who else?
Narad Muni.
Arjuna and Krishna, Mataji.
Very good. Arjuna and Krishna, the live example of our Bhagavad Gita.
Yes,
How Arjun was feeling so despondent. He said, okay, I gave up this battle. Krishna, I don't want to fight at all. Then entire Bhagavad Gita is preaching only. That Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are not the body, you are a soul. Go ahead. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Who else?
Mataji, Narad Muni.
Chitra Rajan.
One
Narad
by one.
Muni,
Please, I'm not
Narad Muni
yes,
when
Kiran
he was a
Mataji.
little boy. Yes, Narad Muni when he was a little boy and his mother passed away and he was very, very disheartened. And then he got the
Mercy of Bhakti
mercy of
Vedanta.
Bhakti. Yes.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Who else?
Parikshit Maharaj, Mataji.
Parikshit Maharaj,
Parikshit,
yes, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam.
Sukdev.
Yes, we can say that Parikshit Maharaj was preached by Sukadev Goswami. Yes, who else?
Chitraketu and Angira Rishi.
Chitraketu and Angira Rishi. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Prahlad
Mataji,
Maharaj to his classmates.
yes.
Right?
Mataji,
Who else?
Kapil Dev.
Huh?
Kapil Dev and his
Kapila,
mother.
Kapila to Devahuti. Very nice. How Devahuti told Kapila that it's so impossible for me to move forward now. How can I go ahead in my bhakti process? And then Kapila Muni, who is non-different from Lord Shri Krishna, he preached to his mother. Then we saw in Uddhava Gita, Krishna preached to Uddhava Maharaj. Then Narada to Prachin Bhari. So we have seen that right from the first canto to 11th canto, it's all preaching. How preaching helps. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your participation. That how important it is. But all these preachers that we see, whether it is Narad Muni, whether it is Krishna, whether it's Vritrasura, whether it's Jada Bharat to King Rahuguna, whether it's Prahlad Maharaj, whether it's Krishna himself, all these are what? These are the great preachers. Why? Apani Acharya Prabhuji Virashikhai. Because they themselves follow everything and therefore they are in the position where they can teach others. Teach others that how you have to follow the path of devotional service. So now we will come to our Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata. So this is our Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata I'm sharing. So today's verse is verse number 11. So we saw that how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to go and preach. And then he also said that Iha bhai arana baliba balai bandhina avashyane ashi amara kahiba, that whatever you go and do, you have to give the entire report to me. And Srila Prabhupada also followed the same thing, that whosoever goes for book distribution, Prabhupada says, I want everything. I want the report of every book you distributed. So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what he is saying. Tomara karila bhiksha yei na baliba, tabe ami chakra haste sabhara katiba. So what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, that I will take up my chakra haste. Haste means in a hand. I will bring my chakra and I will cut off the heads of those who will not chant the names of Krishna after being requested by you. You means by Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur would go and beg, would knock at the doors and would beg. Sometimes the people are so arrogant that they'll smash the doors on the face of Nityananda Ram. But Nityananda Ram will take no offense. He will still beg them. He'll fall flat at their lotus feet, but will beg them that please chant, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I will take up my chakra and cut off their heads. So this is for all of us. That Mahaprabhu, if we want to please Mahaprabhu, then we have to follow the instructions of Mahaprabhu. We have to follow the instructions of Nityananda Prabhu. Now, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he took it into all different realms and he explained. And let's read the purport. The purport itself is very wonderful, and let's see if we can cover more verses or we'll stick only to today's verse. So what Prabhupada says, Saraswati Thakur says, I will destroy that person. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, that I will cut off their heads if they don't chant Krishna's name after being requested by you, Nityananda Ram and Haridas Thakur. But Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur takes into the different paradigm altogether. And he says, I will destroy that person who becomes inimical to your request for alms by giving him unlimited misery. So cut off their head by chakra means to infuse them, is to infuse some unlimited misery unto them. Now, in this, Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur continues that there are many people who contemplate as follows, that why Mahaprabhu is saying that I will give them unlimited mercy. Isn't it the Lord merciful? Isn't it we say that he is Mahavadannaya? So being most merciful, being most magnanimous, why has the Lord created the cruel misfortunes in this world? So this is a very general question that is asked by all the people, that why good thing happen to bad people, why good people have to suffer, why bad people are flourishing. So why the Lord created those cruel misfortunes in the world? And then Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur quotes this beautiful verse from the prayers of Lord Brahma. Tattanu kampam susikshamano bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Hrid vag vapur bhir vidhanam namaste jive to mukti pade sa daya bhag. So what this says, tatte anukampam susikshamano, that those, therefore, tatte means therefore. So Brahma has already described the glories of Krishna in the previous verses of this 10th canto, 14th chapter. But now he is saying that, my dear Lord, your anukampa, your causeless mercy is bestowed onto whom? So samikshamano. Ikshamana means, ikshamana, if you see Sanskrit, ikshamana means to see, to have a survey kind of thing, or you can see to look. These are the different meanings of ikshamana. Samaikshamana means to see completely. Okay. Now somebody comes and tells some bad things about others. So we hear it, we see it through our own perspective or to the perspective of that person who is telling us. Or we see something that has been happening by some devotee which we don't like, but we don't know the perspective of that person. So ikshamana is just to see. Samikshamana is to put your mind also in that. Samikshamana means to completely see, to completely observe that what that person is doing and why that person is doing. Means to put yourself into the shoes of that another devotee and then completely analyze the situation and then observe it. That is samikshamana. So samikshamana means that you have to do it not only completely, but beyond that. Beyond that also we have to understand. So here the word ikshamana is used to see Krishna's hand, is to see Krishna's plan, is to understand Krishna's plan. And samikshamana is to completely understand Krishna's plan. And so samikshamana means to completely understand as well as have hope that Krishna is my ever well-wisher. Suhrit sarva bhutanam. Krishna is my ever well-wisher. So he says, Tattuna kampam susikshamano. Those who are susamikshamano, those who earnestly awaits, being hopeful, being enthusiastic, being patient, and being determined that Krishna is going to shower his causeless mercy on me. His anukampa will come. Bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. Then at the same time, we are 1 minute. Sorry. And at the same time, we are bhunjana evatma kritam vipakam. That we understand that whatever suffering I am going through, it's because of my own reactions of my karma, my past deeds. Krishna has nothing to do with it. It's because of me, it's because of my past karmas only that I am suffering. When we understand this, when we susamikshmana, when we understand and completely analyze that whatever bad is happening in my life is because of my karmic reactions, and what is good is happening in my life is the mercy of the Supreme Lord. One who understands this material existence and his own existence in such a way, Hrid Vag Vapur, and not only understand, but he offers his obeisances also unto Hrid Vag Vapur Bhim Vidhan Namaste, to that Vidhan, to that Supreme Lord's law, to that Supreme Lord. If we understand and analyze this situation of this material existence, and with surrenderance, we offer our heart, Hrid, Vag, we offer our words, Vapu, with our body. We show respect to that Supreme Lord. It's not that something good has happened to me. Well, oh Lord, actually, I deserve it. But still I pay obeisances to you. But something bad happens, then we say, oh Krishna, why me? Why only me? Why do you do this to me? So this why doesn't comes when something happy happens to us, when something good happens to us. This why comes when some devastation happens to us, something that brings sorrow. When it happens, then we question all this why. But here Brahma is saying that is not a devotee. The devotee is one who surrenders in all the circumstances, whether it is good or whether it is bad. Considering that these dualities of life are just like summer and winter season, it will come and it will go. And with our heart, with our body, with our words, we don't blame Krishna. Rather, we offer our obeisances to Krishna. Then Brahma is saying, Jive toyo mukti pade sadaya bhag. That person, that eligible candidate becomes entitled to be liberated from this cycle of birth and death. That devotee is entitled to reach the destination, the supreme destination of Krishna's abode. Jivet mukti so daya bhag. He becomes the rightful claim. And Prabhupada says, what is the rightful claim? And he gives the example that a child, a legitimate child, actually claims, inherit the property of his father. But what is the eligibility needed? The eligibility needed for that child is to be alive. Alive as well as follow the instructions of his father. Otherwise, the father will give the property to others. So he becomes the rightful claim. He can claim that property, he can inherit that possessions of his father just by being alive. Similarly, Brahma says, and Prabhupada also mentions in the purport, that we have to be alive in our Krishna consciousness. Alive in Krishna consciousness is that no matter what happens, my Krishna consciousness should not go away. It should not be hampered. It should not be withered. Okay, so this is very important what Prabhupada is mentioning. If a living entity who is averse to Krishna spends his days in material endeavors, then in accordance with the laws of the material world, he will achieve miseries for cessation of his material existence. So we have to spend our days, how? We have to spend our days in Krishna conscious ways. And this is how we have to look. So samikshamana, we have to understand and analyze the situation. See, the problems, the troubles will come. Definitely will come. Because this place is Dukhalayam. How we respond to the problems will determine, will define how much we are into Krishna consciousness. Example is being given. So many people have been cheated in Srimad Bhagavatam only. So many have been disturbed. So many have been defamed. But still, they were Krishna conscious in spite of bearing all those sufferings. There's a very famous verse in Srimad Bhagavatam also. Tiraskritta vipralabdha shapta shipta hatapi Nasya tad pratikuruvanti tad bhakta prabhavo hi. Tiraskritya, even if a devotee is defamed, उसका तिरस्कार कर दिया जाता है. Vipralabdha, even if that devotee is cheated. Shapta, if that devotee is cursed. Shipta, if that devotee is ignored or neglected or disturbed. Hatapi, even that devotee is killed or attempt are being made on him to be killed. Still, nasya tat pratikuruvanti, they will not counteract. They will accept it. So samikshamano, they will see the entire thing as the results of their own karmic reactions. They'll not blame Krishna. And that Krishna says is my powerful devotee. That devotee is my devotee who accepts everything. Now again, we'll open up the forum. We'll see so many examples from Srimad Bhagavatam that they were disturbed, but still they didn't reacted. Rather, they responded in a very Krishna conscious way. So can you cite some examples?
Ambarish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj, very nice. So Ambarish Maharaj was not disturbed by seeing that demon that Durvasa Muni created, but he acted in a very Krishna conscious way. And even after when Ambarish Maharaj...
Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay, Parikshit Maharaj. Yes,
Srila
Parikshit.
Haridas Thakur.
Shapta, one by one. So Shapta, Parikshit Maharaj was given the curse, but he accepted. Prabhupada writes that he had full capability to counter curse, but still he accepted as the will of the providence. Yes, who else?
Srila Haridas Thakur.
Haridas Thakur. So the verse it was says, right? Tiraskrita Vipraladda Shapta Shipta Hatapi. He was killed. He was attempted. People like all the Yavana soldiers, they attempted to kill Haridas Thakur. Hatapi. But how Haridas Thakur responded? He was asking forgiveness for all those Yavana soldiers who were beating him mercilessly on 22 marketplaces.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. He was being tortured by his own father. How many of us have this thing that we are being tortured by our own relatives? But his own father was torturing him. But still, he had full faith in his Vishnu. He has full faith in his
Kunti Maharani.
The Pandavas and Draupadi.
Pandavas, time and again, they have been
Draupadi.
cheated one by one. Pandavas were cheated, but still they acted in a Krishna conscious way. Yes, sorry. Go ahead. Kunti
Mahajan Bhishma Pitama.
Bhishma Pitama, yes.
Draupadi.
Draupadi. Right example. She was defamed. Tiraskritta. But she called Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Okay. So this is how we see from Srimad Bhagavatam examples also that the devotee doesn't counteract, but they accept everything as the will of the providence. Because Krishna himself says, Yasyaham anugrahami harishyatad dhanam shanai, tato dhanam tajjanti asya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. Krishna says that when I show my mercy and I deprive them from everything, I give them all these problems. So we see in the verse also it is saying, I will destroy everybody by giving them unlimited misery. So now do you think that misery is wrong or right? This sufferings is going to help us or is going to deteriorate us? No, this suffering is going to help us. Because Lord, when show his compassion to his devotee, he exposed them that special suffering. And this is being explained by Srila Prabhupada by an analogy, where he says that how an affectionate father works. If the child doesn't want to go to school, the father takes the responsibility that the child should go to school instead of wasting his time in playing games. Now, when the father is chastising the child and forcing the child to go to school, is the father showing compassion on the child, or is he to be considered a cruel father? He's to be considered a compassionate father because he's worried about the future of his child.
Though apparently, externally, we see that he's chastising the child, but he is the true well-wisher. Similarly, when we are exposed to such miseries, we should understand that it's Krishna's mercy is being bestowing on us. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Pandavas, all these are the live examples. Krishna was there with them, but still they were subjected to so many great tribulations in life. So all this is because Krishna wants to show his mercy. See, our Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives this, that if we keep on objecting on why Krishna
All
is,
right.
or we start blaming Krishna, that why Krishna is doing this, I would like everybody to mute. Okay, thank you. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives beautiful analogies and he tries to explain. He explains, who can understand the brightness of the sunrise? Who can know that sunrise is so attractive? The person who is exposed to darkness can really value the importance of sunrise. A person who is exposed to scorching heat in the summer days can really appreciate the cold water. A person who has spent days and nights in that cold winter months can appreciate the warmth. So a person who is hungry for months can appreciate the value of food. So these dualities that we face in our life are important for us so that we can value those things. If we only experience happiness, then we don't experience sorrow, then we will take this happiness also for granted. We will not be appreciative to those happiness, those small little happiness that we get. We appreciate because we suffer. We have seen distress. Only then. Krishna himself was appreciated by the gopis when he left those gopis in the middle of rasa dance. So Krishna, he exposed his dear devotees to this miserable sufferings in life so that they can develop this attitude of gratitude when there is small little happiness to them. They have this attitude of gratitude towards Krishna. So therefore Krishna says this. Now in this verse also, so he says that I will destroy that person who becomes inimical to your request by giving them unlimited misery. Don't think that this unlimited misery is for our fall down. Rather, this unlimited misery is actually for our benefit only, so that we can value Krishna's supremacy. We can value Krishna's pastimes, his sweetness in our life. We acknowledge his presence in our life. Because without acknowledging Krishna's presence in our life is totally waste of time. It's only Shrama Eva Hi Kevalam. We are simply leading a life of animals, animalistic life of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Okay, so this is what the purport says. So I'm almost 12, but let's cover 1 or 2 verses more. Agnashuni Hasya Sabha Vaishnava Mandala Anyatha Karite Agya Kara Ache Bala. So when these devotees heard that how Mahaprabhu will cut off their heads with the chakra, they all started laughing. Hearing the orders, the Vaishnavas laughed. One way they laughed because Mahaprabhu has come to bestow Krishna mercy, to bestow his mercy, to bestow Krishna prem. Why will he kill them? He has taken that avatar not to kill the sinners, but to kill the propensity that is there in the heart of those sinners. And then another understanding of why they laughed is that who has the power to transgress this order? That who will not fulfill the orders of Nityananda Prabhu when Nityananda Prabhu will beg them to chant, Who has the power not to follow the orders of Nityananda Prabhu? But yes, still our Shastras explain, Chaitanya Charitamrita explains that there were devotees who smashed their doors on Nityananda's Prabhu's face, who didn't acknowledge that how Nityananda Prabhu is bowing down at their feet. Sometimes it happened that when Nityananda Prabhu will knock and the door, then the person will open the door and he will not see anyone. And he will be thinking, who knocked my door? And then he will see that Nityananda Prabhu was falling flat on the ground. Just to request, Bala Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Karo Krishna Shiksha. Please chant. I'm falling at your feet. That Sonar Parvat Dhulai Dhulai, he is rolling on the ground. That golden mountain, like Nityananda Prabhu, is rolling on the ground just to beg all of us to chant Krishna's name. And even after getting that, if we are not chanting, if we are not being loyal to Nityananda Prabhu and being loyal to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then what is our destination? Definitely our destination will be that we will achieve miseries after miseries. So they all loved. Hena agya tahan yaha nityananda shiravahe ithe apratita jara se shuddhin se subuddhin. I'll repeat again. Hena agya yaha nityananda shiravahe ithe apratita jara se subuddhi nahe. His order is such that even Nityananda Prabhu carries it on his head. Shiravahe. So orders of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is such that Nityananda Prabhu himself carries those orders on his head. Anyone who does not believe this is not very intelligent. Why? Because who is Nityananda Prabhu? Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan. Tahara Dvitya Deha Shri Balaram. His second bodily expansion is Nityananda Prabhu. Yes, our Ishvara, Ekelek Ishvara Krishna, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Arasabha Bhritya, all are the servants. So Nityananda Prabhu, though he is elder to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but his mood is what? To serve. His mood is to serve Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Ekas Swarupa Done, both of them are one Swarup only, Bhinna Matra Kaya, but they have the different bodily expansion. Adya Kaya Vyuha Krishna Leela Rasahaya. They both, Nityananda Prabhu expands himself to serve Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to follow his orders. So he is Nityananda Prabhu. So he is carrying all the instructions that is given by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his head. And anyone who doesn't believe this, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying that he is not very intelligent. He has basically lost his intelligence. So it's already 12 o'clock, so we'll stop here. Next verse is important, but again, it describes about Advaita Acharya, which will take another 15 minutes to explain. So we'll stop here. I'm sorry I was not able to cover much verses today, but it was such an important purport that I don't want to miss it. Okay, so thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Grace Kirtida Sundari Mataji ki jai. Very beautiful session, Mataji, and love how you constantly try to engage us and keep us thinking while during the session. A very important concept that we need to always remember, that preaching is definitely very important for each and every one of us, and I felt like this was a lesson for me. So thank you so much, Mataji. I'd open the forum for any questions or realizations. Hare Krishna. Anita Mataji, please go ahead.
Before she goes ahead, Mataji, 1 minute, Anita Mataji. I also forgot to say, like you mentioned about the preaching part. So preaching can also be done through many ways, but our actions speak louder than our words. So we have to make sure that, yes, we can preach through our words, but our actions should be aligned to those words. Only then the preaching will have effect. Yes, Anita Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Sorry, Srila Prabhupada. Very nice class, Mataji. And in that, this one verse, you are explaining about that mercy, right? The Lord shows a mercy to the person and he deprives everything from him. Can you take that verse, Mataji? I didn't. Then lastly, you said something, I didn't understand that, Mataji.
Like that verse, Yasyaham Anugraham?
It was there in Caitanya Bhagavata only.
Not in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's Sri Bhagavan himself. He quoted this verse. I don't know which cant. It's in the 10th canto only. Yasyaham anugrahami harishye tad dhanam shanai. Tato dhanam tajjantasya swajana dukkha dukkhitam. I can search for you. So you don't understood anything, or like not able to understand your question. But if you want that verse, then
No,
yes.
Mataji, I was saying about in Chaitanya Bhagavat only, in between only you said this words, right? So the Lord says when he shows a mercy, he will deprive of everything. So what do you mean by that? He takes away everything from the devotee, or how it is understanding?
Yeah, he takes away everything from his devotee. Anything that is not conducive for his devotee, then the Supreme Lord takes away. Okay, see here. This is the verse. I hope you are able to see the screen. It's Canto 10, chapter 88, verse 8. Shri Bhagwan Vacho Yasyaham Anugrahami Harishya Tad Dhanam Shanai Tato Dhanam Tajjantasya Swajana Dukkha Dukkhitam. The personality of Godhead said, if I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Prabhupada says in the purport, the wealth that is not used in Krishna's service. Then I take away his relatives and friends. Of such a poverty-stricken man, akinchana gochara, I abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another. But this is what? When I show special mercy, special favor. Anugraha, when I show that special anugraha, I do all this. So that the devotee doesn't get attached to it. If the devotee is not attached, then I'll bestow everything.
Okay, Mataji, got it. Thank you.
Who else is there?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you please repeat the 4 pillars of ISKCON once again? Just
books are the basis.
Mhm.
Preaching is the essence. Purity is the force. Utility is the principle.
Mataji, can you elaborate what is utility is the principle?
Utility is the principle means we use everything in Krishna's service.
Okay.
For example, if you go to South Africa, my Guru Maharaj used to tell that if you have to enter into South Africa, you have to take an injection.
Yeah.
And for some vaccination, some yellow fever. And there, in that injection, there is an egg. There are particles of egg in it. But all the preachers who go to South Africa to preach, they take this injection. Now, in one sense, they are accepting the particles of egg. But in another sense, the higher thing is to preach. So utility is the principle. We are not jnanis where we reject everything. Prabhupada says you can take my picture embracing millions of dollars and you can publish in the newspapers. I don't mind. Because I use that money, I don't reject. I use that money in Krishna's service. So this is how we take that utility is the principle. Whatever, indirectly or directly, we should use everything in Krishna's service. We don't reject like jnanis.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Your class is always, always, always so wonderful. And my heartfelt obeisances to you. Hare Krishna. Danvat pranams.
Danvat pranams, Mataji. Just repeating the words. Okay, anybody else?
Mataji, the last one, what you said, Mataji? For the 4 pillars, utility, and after that?
That's it. Books are the basis, purity is the force, preaching is the essence, and utility is the principle.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, you mentioned, like, what example you gave for South Africa, like Prabhupada, for the egg thing. I don't understand that part. Utility, you said that utility is a principle. But
Utility is the principle means that we have to accept whatever comes, but our focus is to preach, to spread Krishna consciousness. For spreading Krishna consciousness, like I give another example. It was an Ekadashi day and all the devotees were supposed to fast. They were completely fasting and there were some sitting idle. So on Ekadashi, you are not supposed to eat grains. On Ekadashi, we should try to fast, be on roots and fruits. If not, if health doesn't allow, we can take Ekadashi Prasadam. But it was the time of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur when the devotees were completely fasting, but then they were simply being lazy, feeling low in their energy level, and they were simply relaxing. So Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur said, and he came, he said, what's this going on? Why you are not out in Sankirtan mission? Why you are not out in distributing books and doing Sankirtan? And the devotee said, because it's an Ekadashi, we are fasting, so our energy level is low. So Prabhupada says, better to eat khichdi, eat rice and grain, but go out and distribute books and do Sankirtan. So this is the utility is the principle, means the highest welfare activity is to preach. For preaching, no matter what it takes, just do it. Even if you have to break your Ekadashi. Now the point is not to break your Ekadashi. The point is that even to an extent where you have to break your Ekadashi or you have to break your vow, but you have to follow the principle of ISKCON, you have to follow the principle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then go ahead with it.
Yeah, Mataji. What about the injection thing? What example was that?
Example was that when you have to go to South Africa, it's a rule of a government that whosoever enters have to take a particular injection to enter into South Africa. And in that injection, one of the ingredient is egg. So all the preachers, they accept that injection because they are entering South Africa, not for their own sense gratification, but for preaching purpose.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, anything else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga.
It was
Mataji,
your
very,
honor,
very nice.
Mataji, and we all took over.
That's okay, Mataji. Everybody says something good and I have to hear, and then it is very nice. And I like that point. Whatever we have anything coming, the problem or tribulations, always we have to think about Krishna's mercy and our past deed. That is heart-touching thing, Mataji. It's very nice. I fell down, so at that time, so I couldn't come all the time and it's paining. But still, I am always thinking that there is Krishna's good plan for me, that I can do everything now this way. And he didn't injure me so much, only just little bit sprain it came and he saved me. So Mataji, I am so much grateful to Krishna.
So nice, Mataji. You are leading us through your example. I'm just simply sitting and speaking without any realizations, but you have literally realized that how that small little sprain is affecting you and you are taking it in such a positive way. So
All Krishna's mercy and Srila Prabhupada mercy. I always grateful to Srila Prabhupada that I could do. He gave me so much strength by reading his purports and everything. And hearing all your devotees' lectures and classes all the time continuously. It makes me, give me so much strength to live.
But all these things, it's very easy to say, It's very easy to theoretically accept, but it's very difficult to practically imbibe in our life. But you are doing it, so hats off to you, Mataji. It's very difficult, trust me. It's easy to say to see Krishna's hand and all the things, but it's very difficult to practically follow it.
Sunday I fell down, Mataji. So I couldn't come in the morning, but I was doing in the morning japa too. I finished my rounds. I was hearing the lectures and everything with my Prabhu.
Pray for you, Mataji. Hope you
And
recover.
sometimes, Mataji, because of medicine I take, and I get sleepy too much, like drowsy like that all the time. So it happens, Mataji.
That's
So
okay,
I'm so
Mataji.
sorry. I'm
Important.
missing physical like this much.
No,
Hearing.
still you are doing a lot. You accepted it as Krishna's mercy. So you are definitely leading us with your life examples, and we'll pray for you, Mataji, that everything goes well and you recover soon.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Karpavagallu Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Wonderful section as usual, Mataji. Another thing, I just want to kindly clarify this unified beauty. You cannot understand, and God is so merciful to us. He is very in our in all the devotees. He will say even the demonic, even he was a demonic child also. Prahlada, he said. But in that verse, he's telling, I will give all destruction, I will do things. He is telling Mataji, I cannot tolerate that because we are only slowly surrendering everything into him. But he cannot do the thing to devotees. But he won't do, but I'm just clarify that verse, Mataji. I cannot understand my
Point is, Mataji, that he takes away all our attachments. Okay, so I'll give you one storyline. So one time Arjun and Krishna, they were wandering in some village, and all those villagers, they were very nicely greeting Arjun and Krishna, both of them. They were very nicely greeted with all the chappan bhogs and everything. And Krishna didn't give much benediction to them, no blessings, and he came out. Then they went to one lady who has just one cow. And that cow was also not giving sufficient milk. But what she did, she milked the cow, and that one glass that came out, she offered it to Krishna. It was for her because she was very poor. She has nothing for her survival. And Krishna accepted and benedicted that lady that your cow will die soon. So Arjun was bewildered. He said, what is this? All those people, they gave you so much chappan bhog and you didn't give any blessings to them. And now this poor lady who has survival, for her survival, she has one cow left. And that also you told that this cow should die soon. So Krishna said, because this cow, this attachment to the cow is binding this lady in this material world. So I said this cow may die soon so that this lady should be finished with all the attachments she has. This one last attachment that she's carrying is the attachment of that cow. So that attachment should go away and then she'll finally come back to me. So when Krishna says that I take away all those things, all your wealth, all your friends, or your family, if Krishna sees that we are so much attached to them, then Krishna says, I'll take away everything. I will take away everything so that you can only remember me, so that you can only surrender unto me. The moment we think that, okay, my friends are there, my possessions are there, my family is there, I'll be protected. Krishna says, so be it, try. Like Draupadi, she tried, right? She first went to all her husbands. Then she went to the entire people who were there in that Kuru assembly. And then she herself tried to control her sari by taking that sari into her teeth. Because she wants to protect herself. But when she saw that she is helpless, then Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, then she called upon. So then Krishna came. Before that, even Krishna was also not ready to come. So Krishna says, I show my special mercy onto them and I take away all those attachments. Now, there are devotees who are very filthy rich, but they are not attached. The example, the classic example in Chaitanya Charitamrita is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He was so rich, he was wearing those silk garments and people were there to fan him, and opulent life. So Krishna gives that opulence when he sees that we are not attached to that opulence. If we are attached to that opulence, then Krishna says, let me take away, so that your surrenderance should only be on me. Little bit pride, if Krishna sees, Krishna leaves it. So this is how we have to understand. It's not that Krishna doesn't bestow, it's that Krishna sees when anything that is not used in his service, then Krishna says, this thing that is not being used as my service is actually causing a bondage to you. So let me cut off. Yes, Mata? Thank you.
So nice. Understood, Mataji. Understood.
Last question we'll take. Priyam Vada, Radha Priya Mataji.
Yes, very good, Mataji. We were talking about the 4 pillars.
Mataji, your voice is not clear.
Clear now, Mataji?
Yes, much clear.
Yes. Mataji, 4 pillars you were talking about. Can you little bit more with the example for purity and for the preaching one?
So
Purity,
books are
yeah.
the basis. So purity, I mean to say that you have to be pure enough. You don't have to be hypocrite. Means whatever you are studying in the books, whatever you are understanding from those books, we have to literally imbibe those qualities in our life. We have to be pure enough. Only then our preaching will be effective. If we are preaching, we have to walk our talk. We should at least try to walk our talk. Like I gave the example that one should not eat meat. One should quit smoking. But I am doing it. So that means whatever I'm saying, I'm myself not following. So this is what purity is. Purity is that we ourselves have to be simple. We ourselves should try to imbibe the teachings of those books in our life. Like if I say to you, Mataji, you should read every day Srila Prabhupada books, at least for 10 minutes. Now, this is what I'm preaching to you. But am I following it? No, I'm not following it. I myself is not opening Srila Prabhupada books. For months, I'm not opening. Then whatever I said, because I myself is not following, so that means my Vani is not pure enough. So whatever I'm telling you, whatever I'm preaching you will have no effect on you. You will also hear it from one ear and will take out from another ear. But that when a pure devotee speaks something, because the pure devotee is walking his talk, therefore, whatever he speaks creates impacts in our heart. Therefore, his preaching is a pure preaching. His preaching is the right preaching because that preaching transforms our heart. Therefore, you see, when you not like you hear this lecture, today you heard, tomorrow you will hear another, then you will hear another. These lectures will not bring that much of transformation in heart as much as you hear the Vani of Srila Prabhupada or our Guru Vargas. Why? Because they are walking their talk. They are so pure, and that purity is rubbed on us through their Vani, through their preaching. So therefore, Prabhupada says that yes, books are the basis. And through books, you should understand and then you should preach. But that preaching will be affected only when there is a purity in our heart. So that force is needed so that the preaching becomes effective. For preaching to be effective, that force is required. Like His Grace Vaisheshika Prabhu would always say, if you want to go and distribute books, make sure you chant your 16 rounds properly. So that means you yourself become so much purified that when you go out on this battlefront, when you go out and touch the pavement and you go and tell them about Bhagavad Gita, that your purity is rubbed on them and then they accept the books. So this is how the preaching becomes effective when we ourselves are pure. If we are not following ourselves, then there is no point in distributing books or preaching, because that preaching will not be effective. So therefore, Vaisheshika Prabhu would always also say that first read the books yourself. Then only you will be able to explain about the books, and then only your words will have some strength, and then only the other person will accept. You got it, Mataji?
Yes, very good. Very, very nice.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, dear devotees, so thank you all so much. So it's already 12:21. So we'll stop here, and
Yes.
we'll continue our Caitanya Bhagavat on Monday, but tomorrow again we have another session. Tomorrow is Friday, which we are covering the 12 Rahasyas of Ramayana. So His Grace Haridas Varya Prabhu will be conducting the session. So see you all tomorrow. So on that note, we'll end up. We'll pay obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees. Vancha
कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च
Patitanam
पतितानां
Pavanebhyo
पावनेभ्यो
Vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो Anant Koti Vaishnav
वैष्णव वृंद की जय,
Srila Prabhupada ki
पाद
jai,
की जय,
Jai
श्री
Prabhupada ki
भागवत
jai.
की जय,
All
हर
the
ग्रेस
assistant
कीर्तिदा
Vaishnavas
सुंदरी
ki
देवी
jai.
दासी माता जी की
जी की
जय.
जय.
Gaura
हरि
Mata
बोल माता जी. Thank you so much
Hare
for your
Krishna.
enlightened class.
Mataji, will you end the call, Mataji? You're the
No,
host.
I'm ending now.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
Okay, dear.